When I first arrived at the retreat center in the mountains of Taiwan, the abbot looked at me as if I were a misplaced sandal. "You came from the city?" he asked, raising one gray eyebrow. "Yes, master." He nodded, unimpressed. "We'll see how long your Wi-Fi spirit lasts." They gave me a small cell, a stone room with a mat, a bowl, and a window that refused to open. The mountains outside were beautiful, but inside my head was a very loud city that hadn't moved out yet. Every morning the gong sounded at 4. I tried to rise gracefully like the senior monks did, but I mostly fell off the mat like a confused fish. When we meditated, I sneezed. When we chanted, I coughed. When we ate in silence, my stomach growled in fluent Taiwanese. By the end of the first week, the nickname had begun. "The useless monk," whispered Brother Ping with a smile. Even the birds seemed to agree. They chirped exactly when I tried to focus. I wasn't angry, not really, just embarrassed. I had come to learn discipline, serenity, maybe enlightenment, but apparently I'd mastered the art of being a disturbance. The abbot, Master Ren, was the kind of man who could silence a thunderstorm just by blinking. He was known for his strictness and for never laughing. People said he'd reached a state of calm beyond emotion. Personally, I suspected he was just tired of everyone. One morning he didn't appear for meditation, then not for lunch. By evening, whispers spread. Master Ren is sick. We all stood outside his quarters, uncertain. The senior monks prepared herbs, recited sutras, and looked very wise doing nothing. No one dared to enter. That night, while washing bowls, Brother Ping elbowed me. "Useless monk, maybe you can make yourself useful now." I laughed, but something inside me stirred. Before coming to the monastery, I'd worked at a small clinic. Nothing fancy, but I knew a few things about fevers and infections. So I did what any useless monk with basic medical knowledge would do. I sneaked into the Abbot's room. He was sitting upright, eyes closed, breathing heavily. His face was pale and his hands trembled. A small bowl of untouched tea sat beside him. "Master," I whispered, "you should lie down." "I'm meditating through the pain," he said, voice dry as the bamboo walls. I felt his forehead, burning. "Enlightenment won't lower your temperature," I murmured before realizing I'd spoken aloud. He opened one eye. "You're the noisy one." "Yes," I admitted, "but I can help." He didn't argue, which was a good sign or a very bad one. I made a cool compress, brewed ginger and mint tea, and coaxed him to drink. Through the night, I sat by him, changing the cloth and counting his breaths. The silence felt different, not like punishment, but like shared effort. By morning, the fever broke. Master Ren opened both eyes and said quietly, "Even a cracked bell can still ring." It was the closest thing to praise I'd ever heard. When he returned to the hall 2 days later, the monks bowed in relief. He spoke briefly, his voice softer than usual. "In every monastery," he said, "there are monks who sit still like mountains, and monks who stumble like streams. Both bring water to the valley." Then he glanced at me, just for a moment, and smiled. Yes, actually smiled. Brother Ping whispered, "Looks like the useless monk just became a river." I didn't answer. I was too busy trying not to grin. Weeks later, as I prepared to leave the retreat, Master Ren met me by the gate. "Do you feel more enlightened?" he asked. I thought about it. "I feel more ordinary," I said. He nodded approvingly. "That's a good beginning." As I walked down the path, I heard him call out one last thing. "Next time, bring your stethoscope." I laughed all the way down the mountain, the loud, un-Zen laugh of a monk who finally understood that even imperfection has its place in silence.